Midnight doesn't always fall. Sometimes it scrolls. One rumor, one doll, and millions of eyes. You felt it, didn't you? A name leapt from movie poster to phone screen, and the room seemed to cool by a degree. Before we follow that chill, here's the promise. No embellishments, no invented scenes. Only what happened, what's recorded, and what was claimed by those who lived it. A real Raggedy Ann behind glass. A museum shuttered by zoning. A caretaker with a camera. This is the story of a vanishing that never was. And the legend that refused to stay quiet. Ready to look straight at the cabinet everyone says not to open. Heart-pounding yet? On August 14th, 2020, the internet erupted with a single, breathless claim. Annabelle had escaped. Tweets stacked like dominoes. Posts cloned themselves across platforms, and a name from horror cinema bled into real life. Screenshots ricocheted without sources. No alarms, no sirens, just a rumor wearing certainty like a mask. Behind the screens, the Warrens' Old Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut, was quiet. The museum had already been closed to public tours since 2019 because of local zoning issues. But closure does not mean disappearance. Within hours, Tony Spera, the Warren son-in-law and current caretaker, stood in front of the wooden glass case. He recorded a video message and pointed the camera where the story said there was nothing. There she was, the real Raggedy Ann doll known as Annabelle, still in her case labeled, "Warning. Positively do not open." The rumor collapsed on contact with the simplest evidence. Fear had run out ahead of facts, and facts finally caught up. But how did a stitched, smiling Raggedy Ann become the eye of a storm? The story that made her famous begins in 1970, when a nursing student named Donna received the doll as a gift. Donna and her roommate Angie later told investigators that the doll seemed to change positions and even rooms. They said they found small handwritten notes on what looked like parchment, pleading help me and help Lou. They said they didn't keep parchment at home. A medium was brought in, and during a session the name Annabelle Higgins surfaced. According to the account popularized by Ed and Lorraine Warren, the spirit story was a lure. They warned the roommates that this was not a child but something malevolent, imitating one. A priest blessed the apartment. The Warrens took the doll and added it to their collection, beginning the ritual that would define its public life. These are the claims in the Warrens' case files and lectures. They are not supported by independent police or medical records. That distinction matters. The narrative is famous, influential, and unverified beyond participants' testimony. What is certain is that the doll existed. The Warrens took custody, and a legend found its stage. The museum itself became part of the mystery. In the Warrens' basement turned occult museum, Annabelle sat in a wooden cabinet, a glass front sealing her in. Visitors would file past shelves of artifacts, while a small sign on her door stated a rule everyone already felt. Warning, positively do not open. Lectures, television spots, and books amplified her fame, linking a real cloth doll to a rising wave of supernatural storytelling. Over the years, the collection came under the care of the New England Society for Psychic Research, NESPR, co-founded by the Warrens. When Ed died in 2006 and Lorraine in 2019, stewardship passed within the family to Tony Spera. Local concerns about traffic and zoning led Monroe officials to halt regular public tours in 2019. That decision closed the door to crowds, not to the artifacts themselves. On occasion, NESPR has displayed the doll at ticketed events with the case sealed and supervised. Journalists who covered the closure reported the same. The museum stopped tours. The items stayed put. Photographs and video from NESPR show the same Raggedy Ann figure, a simple toy recast by attention into an emblem. The tension between what can be shown and what can't be proven is the atmosphere Annabelle breathes. It is also where skepticism and belief stand nose to nose without flinching. So when the 2020 rumor caught fire, it had perfect kindling. Annabelle said the post was loose from the Warren collection. Some pointed to screenshots and memes. Others simply repeated the claim until it felt familiar. No credible source, no police notice, no museum statement. Only a wave that fed itself. That same day, Tony Spera filmed a short video and posted online. He stood before the cabinet and moved the camera close, so close the fabric grain came into focus. Annabelle was inside the case. The label on the door was visible. The room was quiet. Fact checkers and local media followed with the obvious verdict. The escape story was false. The museum's ongoing closure for zoning reasons had helped set the stage for confusion, but the artifact had not moved. What spread wasn't a doll but a rumor, and it traveled farther and faster than the object ever had. In the end, the proof of life video was the pin that popped the balloon. Perhaps the eeriest part is how ordinary the real Annabelle looks. She is not the cracked porcelain of the films, but a soft raggedy and with triangle nose and yarn hair. Her power, if the word even applies, lies not in mechanics but in story. The earliest claims movement notes the name Annabelle Higgins survived because they were told and retold. The Warrens presented the case as a cautionary tale of deception by a malevolent force. Skeptics point to the absence of police reports, hospital records, or third-party documentation for the supernatural details. Both sides agree on what could be photographed: the doll, the cabinet, the warning sign, the family stewardship. Beyond that shared ground, the tale splits into belief and disbelief, each convinced it sees clearly. In this divide, Annabelle functions less like an object and more like a mirror. You bring fear or doubt to the glass, and the glass returns it amplified. That is why an unverified whisper about an escape could hook millions, because the story was already living in our heads, waiting for a jolt, and because the truth, quiet, static, sitting in a case, rarely shouts. If you're still listening for footsteps, here's where the trail really ends. Annabelle remains under the care of an ESPR in a sealed wooden and glass cabinet with the warning sign affixed. The collection that once formed the Warren Occult Museum is not open for regular tours because of zoning restrictions in Monroe. From time to time, an ESPR shares updates or brings the encased doll to organized events, and then returns her to storage. There's been no verified escape, disappearance, or theft. There's been one viral rumor, definitively countered by a same-day video from the caretaker. There's been half a century of storytelling that begins with a gift to a nursing student and ends at a locked cabinet. Every element beyond the physical artifacts and public records is reported as the Warrens' account, widely circulated and not independently corroborated. That is the honest ledger, object, chain of custody, museum status, debunked escape. And then, on the other side, legend, powerful, persistent, and perfectly suited to the dark. If you find yourself glancing at your door tonight, remember, fear moves. The doll did not. The case is not empty. The rumor was. The rest is what we choose to believe when the lights go out. Maybe you wanted the cabinet to be empty. It isn't. The doll is ordinary. The legend isn't. And the truth sits where it always sat, behind glass. The Warrens' tale persists as testimony, not proof. The physical facts remain plain enough to film. On August 14th, 2020, a rumor took a victory lap until a caretaker with a camera stopped it short. If there's a moral, it's simple. Rumors pick locks. Evidence keeps the hinges tight. And when the next whisper comes, ask the cabinet, the caretaker, the camera. Because legends wander, Annabelle did not. Good night. And keep the facts where you can see them.
Like and subscribe.